Hey guys, I've actually had to redo this video like 9 times already because the record keeps getting fucked up. It's just a knife from hell. But maybe that's a good thing because each time I have to redo it, I've calmed down. But after watching this, I was so fucking mad. And I'm going to warn you right now, if you don't like cursing, you are not going to like this video. Because my blood is boiling over multiple things. First, I'm going to make it simple. I'm going to try not to talk for too long before this video, before I play Nancy Grace, but I do talk throughout the video because I was so mad watching them. I just wanted to fucking hit them. But there's two things I want to address before I even play this. The first one I want to address is if I hear one more person say, Steven's guilty, but Brendan's innocent. No, no, motherfucker, that's wrong. And I'm going to show you why it's wrong. One, all right, for my subscribers, for my followers, for my group, you guys are all really intelligent people. My Funhouse girls, very intelligent, can put, two sticks together and build a fire. For my haters and people I see all over that think Steven is guilty, I'm going to give you the best example. You can have a peanut butter sandwich without jelly. You can have a jelly sandwich without peanut butter, but you can't have a peanut butter and jelly sandwich without fucking bread. You can't have both of them guilty based on a confession and then throw out the confession and then say only one of them is guilty. It doesn't work like that. And to be honest with you, I don't give a fuck if they're guilty. My opinion, your opinion, anybody's opinion means shit. Our criminal justice system is not made for our opinions. YouTube is made for our opinions. My opinions I'll express on YouTube. If I'm on a fucking jury, the last thing I need is my opinion, because my opinion means shit. Facts of a case are based on evidence and evidence alone. And granted that evidence, sometimes people are stupid and they just don't use their brain. Like this girl Susan the other day on my last YouTube video that Zellner actually addressed, and believe me, I was jumping up and down that Zellner watched my video and addressed her like 2 hours later. It was awesome. And if you haven't seen it, go check out my last video. She's on there. And that's what Zellner's tweet meant, because we're sitting here arguing about, she was saying, oh, so you're saying that the jury wasn't tainted. Of course the jury was fucking tainted, you asshole. Of course they used his confession. What the fuck do you think the, the press conference was? So it's that kind of stupidity that I just don't have time for. I don't have tolerance for it. I can't deal with stupid people. I actually just started a new email called I Hate Stupid People. I can't deal with it. Use your fucking brain. That I don't mean as far as Steven goes. I'm saying just use your fucking brain, people. Not my subscribers, not anyone. Just like you have people, and I am guilty, do not get me wrong. I am guilty of posting something about Carla due to the fact that her admins did it to me. So we're going to, play tit for tat. Immature, probably, but it was okay. It was kind of justice. Now, with that said, the shit that they posted about me was mugshots from 2012 and 2013. Personally, I don't give a fuck. They were civil, not criminal. I've never been charged with I've never been convicted of anything criminal. So not worried about it. My mugshots in my worst days still look better than most of them on their best days. So that didn't even bother me. But the point is, I posted something about Carla. Now, Carla's worst crime, I mean, besides some bullshit like misdemeanors with, I'm not even going to say if you don't know, but I'm not going to do that to her. But her biggest crime, people were going around saying, oh, she has such a big record. She does not have a big record. She doesn't like wearing a seatbelt, and she can't pay insurance. That is her biggest crime. And in no way, shape, or form am I sticking up for Carla per se. I have her blocked. We don't talk. We hate each other. But the truth of the matter is, I'm going to stick up for what's right. And people going around saying what a horrible criminal she is. She's a fucking person that doesn't like to wear a seatbelt. That's her crimes. So I just wanted to throw that in there. And I see that all over the place. People bashing this one, bashing that one. And I mean bashing. Like, it's just mind-blowing to me. It's no secret that Scott Tadich is not my best friend in the world. But you know what? You don't hear me talking about his criminal record on YouTube. I mean, just people need to grow the fuck up. Don't look into people's past. It's Facebook. My point in all this being is that I see over and over and over these fucking idiots go on Reddit and start running their mouth about Stephen Avery's past. Stephen Avery barely had a past. He was in fucking jail for, 18 years? He barely had a chance to live. Everything he did was prior. Me and my ex had a fight. We both went to jail on a domestic charge. Does that mean I have a history of domestic violence? Give me a fucking break. I went through this already like 30 videos ago. It's fucking unreal how stupid people are. When you are going to convict somebody based on the facts alone. If Gregory Allen became a meth dealer and he claims he was set up, I don't give a shit that he's a rapist. I don't give a shit that he's been in jail 100 times or for 100 years. If he's never had a run-in with drugs and everything looks like he was set up, just because he's a convicted rapist doesn't mean he's a meth dealer. That's what so many people cannot understand or put together, and it's driving me nuts. So please, people, sit back and really learn the justice system if you're going to form an opinion. It has to be based on the facts alone. I don't care what somebody did in their past. I don't even care if they fucking killed her. All right? It doesn't matter. They don't belong in jail. His confession was thrown out for a reason. So with that said, I told you I didn't want to go too long, but now I'm going to play Nancy Grace. And I do make some narratives through the video. It's actually pretty funny, but I couldn't help it. She's just such an asshole. Yep, now you're going to tell me I'm cased because I have a cigarette in my hand, but nobody's here. Ah. And I didn't think you could see it. All right, here we go.
Burned. The most advanced DNA testing needed. A Netflix documentary reels in record viewers, convincing viewers that Stephen Avery is innocent in Teresa's brutal murder. Breaking right now.
Notice she can't stop smirking.
Sex assault. Cutting off Teresa's hair.
Smirking.
Bitch, you can't even say it with a straight face.
Walks free.
As you smirk.
Did you binge watch or hear about that Netflix series Making a Murderer?
And when did you plan it? Why did he pick Teresa? She was coming over that day.
A judge overturned the murder conviction of Brendan
Rightfully
Dassey.
so.
Were you involved with the murder of Teresa Hall? Yes or no? Yes.
Let's start at the beginning. With me is Dan O'Donnell, anchor reporter with WISN, who has covered the Avery and Dassey trials, and also with me, special guest Ken Kratz, who prosecuted Brendan Dassey, author of Avery, the case against Stephen Avery and what making a murderer gets wrong. His book coming out is at pre-order Amazon.com. Ken Kratz is joining us. First of all, it's my understanding that the judge in this case, Judge William Duffin, has cut Dassey free and ordered a new trial.
He did not order a new trial, you asshole.
What Netflix has told everybody. I want you to hear what Dassey says. Listen.
What's that when you bring her out to the garage? Where do you put her? On the floor. And continue to tell us what happens. And then he stabs her and then he tells me to...
Sorry I'm moving. I'm trying to keep it comfortable.
He said he would rather burn her, but he put her back on the floor and then he shot her 5 times.
Gee, that sounds convincing.
In the chest. Show me where. Right here. Where do you stab her? Just tell me. What does she say when you stab her?
Exactly what you told me to tell me, she said.
Is she screaming? Yeah. Is she screaming and saying stop what you're doing? Is she swearing at you? Is she struggling? What?
I don't know, what should I say now?
She said she was crying on. Are you holding her down? No. Who is? She went to go pick up some stuff around the yard. And after that, he asked me to come in the house because he wanted to show me something. He showed me that she was laying on the bed.
Sorry for getting car sick from my movie.
Down to the bed. And her leg her cup. Then he told me to have sex with her. So I did because I thought I was not going to get away from him because he was too strong. So I did what he said. And after that, he untied her and uncuffed her and he brought her outside. And before he went outside, he told me to grab her clothes and her shoes. So I went into the garage. Before he took her outside, he had tied up her hands and feet. And then went in the garage. He stabbed her. And then he told me to. After that, he wanted to make sure she was dead or something. So he shot her 5 times. And while he was doing that, I wasn't looking because I can't watch that stuff. So I was standing.
And I'm reading exactly what they told me to say.
And after that, he took her outside and we put her on the fire.
Most people confess to just straight up run-on sentences without even thinking about it.
When we put her in the fire and her clothes, we were standing right by the garage.
Everyone confesses like that.
So we threw some of the stuff on it after it went down.
When I hear that, I can hardly stand it.
Because you're a liar?
To Dan O'Donnell, anchor reporter with WISN.
Oh, you mean you can hardly stand how bad they failed to?
Trials. Who also appears in the Netflix documentary. Dan, why did this judge, William Duffin,
You're asking Dan?
say that this interrogation was wrong?
Because it was.
Well, if you can believe this, Nancy, his argument basically rested on the idea that because the two interrogators were telling Dassey...
No, Dan, that is not what it rested on.
Everything's going to be okay. We're on...
No, Dan, that's not what it rested on.
That amounted to the investigators...
I just want to cut in there for a second because Dan is lying out of his ass. That is not the main premise of that 91-page opinion. The judge said that not only did they coerce him, it was the most gross injustice of the criminal justice system that he has ever seen. He also went on to say that that they took out parts of the confession and that at one point they did say, Brendan, if you just tell us the truth, we'll let you off. Brendan, if you just tell us this. And so it scares me to death that Dan O'Donnell has a fucking law degree, and so does Nancy Grace, and so does Ken Kratz. This scares the fuck out of me. It really, truly does, because these people are fucking lying out their ass. You know, we always joke around about let's start a GoFundMe. Let's start a GoFundMe to get these fucking law degrees taken away because they do not deserve them. They should go on national TV and bash, you know, the criminal justice system when they're all fucking idiots. Dan is so stupid that he couldn't even become a lawyer, so he became a DJ. Yeah, most people spend $100,000 in law school to be a DJ because you're a fucking idiot. That's why, Dan. All right, I'll go back.
Making false promises to him.
No, Dan, that was one small part of it.
His confession.
You're a bigger idiot than Kratz.
Did they ever beat him, Dan O'Donnell?
No,
Did they make promises that he was going to get out of jail?
of course not. No.
Okay, unleashed lawyers David Bruno and Troy.
Yeah, they did, as a matter of fact.
What's wrong with this interrogation? Why is Brendan Dassey set to walk free?
Brendan Dassey and Stephen Avery were never in danger.
Nancy, you can't even keep a fucking straight
The
face.
judge here found that the confessions were so unfair as to render them involuntary.
Say it with a straight face, Nancy. You can't do it. Nice smirk.
To be made knowingly, intelligently, and voluntarily.
Nancy, you're a
And
very
in
bad
this
actress.
case, that just did not happen.
Not
And
helping.
This kid who is mentally challenged thought he was going to get to go back to school to participate in
Try real hard not to smile, Nancy Grace.
They were telling him, just
You're
tell us
close.
what we want to know, and then you get to go and be on your way.
Okay, hold on, David Bruno. Let me go to Ken Kratz, who actually prosecuted Dassey. You can just say all that shaking your head, David Bruno, when I come back to you, and you can just shake it all you want to. Because Ken Kratz, I know you're
Look
not
how fat he got.
but just to get it out
Oh, he
there,
will soon.
Number one, Dassey is not mentally ill. As a matter of fact,
Say it with a straight
we
face,
reviewed
both
the
of you.
documents. He's in the average range of IQ. Granted, it's
Got a
lower
higher IQ than you.
He has an average IQ. They gave him his Miranda rights. They say it over and over and over on the video. His mother is sitting in the next room and decides she doesn't want to come in. And in a
Not quite.
interview, his lawyer had been called. What
Keep
is
smirking,
wrong
Nancy.
with the interrogation?
Keep smirking.
Well, that's right, Nancy. There's absolutely no problem at all
Keep
with
smirking,
with
guys.
this interrogation, and I never thought so from the beginning. The
You can't do
justice,
it.
The magistrate in
You
this
cannot
case,
keep a straight face.
found that,
Don't even try.
It ought to be believed, that is, it was a reliable statement by this young man, that the investigators never did make any promises. In fact, there was no single statement that they could point to that led to this being involuntary.
Doing this woman, a 25-year-old girl, was tortured. She was bound. Her hair cut off her head with a knife. She was
Oh my God,
sex
Nancy.
attacked by
Do you have the IQ of my dog?
Then she was stabbed. She was shot, and her body.
According to
Well,
who?
Nancy, it should have been you. And yes, I just said that.
Business. The Daisy Fuentes studs on her jeans and her teeth were found in that.
Smile, Nancy. You and Ken, smile.
At the end of the auto salvage lot, covered up with plywood.
You feel so bad you can't even keep a motherfucking straight face, you dumb bitch.
Oh my God, she did not just say that.
Found in the ignition as he tried to turn those cars.
I'm getting mad all over again.
I think of my daughter growing up and becoming a photographer and getting.
You should be worried she has you as a mother.
Place like this.
Nancy, you are the worst actress I've ever seen in my entire life. The worst.
Well, you heard that at the beginning of this
That
segment,
smirk says
you
it all.
heard Brendan Dassey's very clear, very coherent admission about what had happened. You know, Brendan Dassey has exactly the same IQ as Stephen Avery does. Stephen Avery, they never claimed
Nice
had
smirk
any
there,
problem
fatty.
resisting any kind of temptation or statements by the investigators, and Brendan Dassey.
Notice they pull away every time they're about to laugh. Because they know they're talking out their fucking asses.
Suggestions by these officers.
Oh my
This
God.
was a statement, and the one that you played, of course, never heard by the audience.
I
in
hope
Making
so. No,
Murderer.
please fry his
That
ass on
statement
the stand.
was very clear, was
Please.
very detailed and horrific, and that's the kind of behavior that this young man engaged in that led to his conviction.
With no evidence, right, Kratz?
If you're claustrophobic, you don't want to be no command.
Okay, this is where I screwed up, so you gotta bear with me.
DISCRACE and Facebook.
Bombshell tonight.
You'll find the latest on out.
Yep.
Details are easy. Come on, you already give me that you were involved in it, so just fill in the details. Paint the picture for me. Obviously, I know already. I know what budget is already. I keep proving that to you. The details are easy. Just tell me what you guys find, what you did. No sweat. Yeah, man, sex with him.
Alleged lawyers David Bruno and Troy Slayton also joining us. The actual prosecutor in this case, Ken Kratz, now the author of Avery, the case against Stephen Avery and what Making a Murderer gets wrong. It's available for pre-order on Amazon right
Believe me,
now.
nobody wants it.
David Bruno, don't just echo what your buddy Troy Slayton says. I want you to tell me, you're a well-respected lawyer.
Absolutely.
I want you to tell me what was wrong with that interrogation. Because I say nothing.
Watch her face.
Of course not.
But this is not a new rule of law.
Thank
Statements
you.
have to be voluntary. And now, what's changed
Look at
here
that face.
is that we now get to see videos
She can't do
of
it, and
how
neither
police
can
conduct
Kratz.
themselves in providing Miranda
Nancy,
in
and
various
Ken, you're
other
pathetic.
premises
and
You can't stop smirking.
they have defendants in custody. And it was
You are pathetic.
Question, what was wrong with those questions, and you still haven't answered?
You're an asshole.
It's the overall, it's the totality of the circumstances. It's
And
the
they are
age,
what?
it's the intellect. It is the promise.
Nancy, stop being such a dick.
Wait. He's 16 years old. He was repeatedly told he had a right to have a lawyer. His mother is
He was?
waiting in the next
When?
room. She was asked to come
You're
in.
an
She chose
asshole.
not to come in. His lawyer knows he's there and sent a representative from the law firm there.
Who did?
And he was repeatedly told he had.
I'm going to stop right there. Brendan was never told that he could have a lawyer. Brendan was never told he needed a lawyer. Brendan was told he was being questioned. Nancy, you are a fucking liar. And on top of that, when was he told repeatedly that he could have a lawyer? She needs to be thrown off CNN. Now, someone told me she is, she's getting off anyway, but it really makes me sad because I used to like her and I fucking hate her now because if she did this to this story, how many other stories did she do it to? I watched her for Casey Anthony just like everybody else. Maybe we were wrong. Maybe Casey Anthony really didn't do it. Look at what Nancy Grace is doing to fucking Brandon. It really makes me question. Maybe the jury was right. Who the hell knows? So, all right, I'm going back. Told you I was
What fucking
pissed.
lies are you telling?
He could have a lawyer with him. He also is not.
You're a fucking liar.
He was in the average range, so why do you keep saying that?
Nancy, he doesn't have to
Nancy,
be
you are
mentally ill.
pathetic.
He doesn't have to be beaten.
You can't even stop smirking. You are such a
It's
bitch.
the totality of the circumstance. And I've always been very critical. I've been very critical of this documentary.
Ken Kratz, totality of the circumstances is a legal phrase, but it does not apply to whether somebody gets Miranda or not. So, Ken, can you answer the question and respond to Bruno?
Try not to laugh, asshole.
Sure, the totality of the circumstances is the standard for voluntary.
You're biting your
However,
cheeks because you can't
totality of the
stop.
circumstances, Nancy, is put together with all of those circumstances that we talked about. And when the magistrate in this case admitted that there was no promises that were made. In fact, the officer
Bullshit!
said, I can't make any promises to you. When they absolutely did not make any threats.
Guys, you are
They
such
told
bad actors.
Brendan Dassey that we want you to tell the truth. Telling the truth or imploring somebody to tell the truth is not the same as making promises or making inducements or threatening them. These are things that happen every day across
Oh my
this
God.
country when they take statements from people.
And that makes it right, right?
It's not rendering this statement involuntary.
After Justin Fryman, very quickly, Justin.
Both of you
what
deserve
is
to lose your
Dassey's
law
IQ?
license.
Let's just clear that up. And what can you tell me about bleach?
Right, Nancy, well, first with the bleach, he had said that bleach was used to clean up some of the mess that was done from killing the woman, and then he actually led police back to his home where he gave them pants that actually have a bleach stain on them.
I could show you 12 pairs of pants with a bleach
I
stain.
am totally blind.
I did. Okay, who did it? Probably Steve. Well, probably who did. If you know, you know. You will.
So, Justin Fryman, you're saying that this guy who has average intelligence, that was tested in court, says that he covered up the evidence with bleach and led police to his clothing. Hold on. Joining you right now, psychologist Greg Kaysen. Greg, have you watched this video of him being interrogated? He has the same affect all the time, not looking up. As far as I'm concerned, that may be because he's ashamed of what he did.
Oh, please, Nancy. I'm trying to remember what the fuck he said.
The sole factor. I mean, this guy was under duress. He's 16 years old. He does now. Low average IQ is between 80 and 89. This is not someone who can compete with most people that he's encountering. Plus, he doesn't have an adult there, any kind of supportive adult. So I wouldn't buy for a second that he really knew what was going on. I think he was just terrified.
Okay, so you think that he did not rape and help murder Teresa Hallback?
Well, I don't know if that's the case. Certainly, What we see here can't prove that he helped rape and murder her because what he was doing seemed like it was.
What? He just said that he had sex with her and looked away when Stephen Avery shot her in the head. Do you miss that part?
There's no evidence, you fucking
I had the
dick.
benefit of watching the Netflix documentary, and there were a lot of other statements, a lot of other factors that went into this.
Exactly.
But it looks like his confession was in fact under duress. I think if you're beaten down after enough time, you're going to give a confession that they want to hear.
King Kratz, see, that's another person, I guess, like this judge, William Duffin, who's making such an important decision based on a Netflix show.
Well, I made my case for me, Nancy. Watching Netflix and the little
Go eat some more, pig.
Is absolutely spoon-feeding the audience.
No, asshole, we read the fucking transcripts. You are an asshole.
Statement. It's very, very clear that
You're a self-righteous, narcissistic piece of shit.
YouTube, somebody from the Avery camp put what they call the entire confession on YouTube. 40 minutes out of the middle of that has been edited, Nancy. When you look at what they put on, saying it's the whole 3 hours, 40 minutes of the most damning part is
bullshit.
Bitch, please, we read it.
Here to the audience.
As you lie.
Straight face because you're such a liar. Typical liar, smirk.
People that are advocates, which I don't begrudge them for doing that at all, but you shouldn't be making these important decisions on that.
Fuck you.
Let's remember American hero.
Don't insult me, moron.
Thomas Chicklin, 27.
And that's it, guys. That was Nancy Grace. Now you can see why my blood was boiling beyond boiling. I just can't believe how fucked up both of them are. Ken Kratz needs to lose his law license because he's a fucking liar. And what they're doing now is lying just in case there is a retrial. Now what they're doing is, oh, let's taint another jury. Fuck you, Nancy Grace. Fuck you, Ken Kratz. And fuck you, every single guilty person that says, oh, Stephen and Brandon are guilty. Fuck you, too. Peace out, guys.